The traditional business model of automakers focused on designing the car, manufacture and assembly of the car, on the financing of the cars, and in helping the dealer provide the best service to achieve the maximum customer satisfaction. The traditional business model was based on ownership, the idea that every car had one owner. At the same time, companies such as Zipcar were focused on ridership, and car rental companies also focused on ridership, but these models were seen largely as complementary to ownership. So Avis Budget Group, Enterprise, Europcar, National, and Hertz were not seen by the automakers as competitive threats. Now, let's take a look at Uber. What is Uber? It started as a smartphone app so that individuals could hail taxi or limousine. It has now evolved to be a global provider of urban transportation for individual rides as well as shared rides. But Uber, in fact, is changing the logistical fabric of cities around the world. Whether it's a ride, a sandwich, or a package, Uber uses the technology to give people what they want when they want. Uber has indeed accelerated the transformation of transportation and mobility as service. Uber has also allowed the individual car owners to increase the utilization of their vehicles and has become the poster child for the sharing economy. Uber is also exploring the frontier of self-driving technologies. Uber's business model is to focus on ridership as alternative to ownership of vehicles. Uber has targeted global scale with over 450 cities and has completed 3 billion rides. Lyft, on the other hand, operates in about 300 cities in the US and is a major competitor to Uber in the US. Uber has inspired other companies around the world to rethink the traditional business model, namely ownership. Halo provides rides in European cities and in Singapore. Get services 100 cities worldwide, and Didi operates in 400 Chinese cities today. As more people choose ridership over ownership, traditional automakers are starting to experiment with such business models too. GM Maven is an alternative similar to Zipcar, where you can use the smartphone to locate the car and use the smartphone app as the automobile's key itself. Now, what if you wanted to drive a Cadillac but wanted the flexibility to swap one type of Cadillac for another within a year? You can do that with a subscription service from Cadillac instead of owning or leasing the car itself. GM has gone further and invested $500 million in Lyft in January 2016. Now, Ford recently has created a separate company called Ford Smart Mobility, which is the result of 25 major mobility experiments that Ford carried out in 2015 to help redefine the way the world moves. In an ad that ran during the 2017 Super Bowl, Ford announced that it is working on new forms of transportation services, including ride-sharing, electric vehicles, bike sharing, and self-driving cars. Car manufacturers are no longer just thinking about automobiles. Take Daimler, the company that invented the car in 1886. It still makes cars under the Mercedes-Benz brand. But its MoveWell unit is reinventing how people move around cities. It is exploring apps that help you find the closest bus, rideshare, or bike and pay for all of it on your smartphone. And it is rethinking its traditional business model, and it partners with tech entrepreneurs. Daimler creating MoveWell, car-to-go car service, working with Uber to put its self-driving cars on Uber network. Didi has investment from Apple. Toyota is working with Uber. GM is working with Lyft. And Volkswagen has invested in Get. All in all, we see a shift in business models from ownership to ridership. How might business models in the car industry further change by 2020? Will the same models apply in different parts of the world? Part 5 will help us to better understand these changes.